Great Expectations by Charles Dickens follows the journey of Pip, an orphan growing up in Kent, England. Raised by his abusive sister, Mrs. Joe, and her kind husband, Joe Gargery, a blacksmith, Pip's life changes one evening when he encounters a terrifying escaped convict named Magwitch in the marshes. Magwitch intimidates Pip into bringing him food and a file. Pip, though frightened, complies, and Magwitch is later captured, but he never forgets Pip's kindness. Not long after, Pip receives an invitation to the decaying mansion of Miss Havisham, a wealthy, eccentric woman who has secluded herself after being abandoned on her wedding day. She remains frozen in that moment, still wearing her wedding dress in a crumbling house filled with remnants of the celebration that never happened. Miss Havisham introduces Pip to Estella, her beautiful but cold-hearted adopted daughter, whom she has raised to break men's hearts as revenge for her own betrayal. Pip is immediately captivated by Estella, despite her disdainful treatment of him. She mocks his manners and working-class background, and though she is often cruel, Pip begins to dream of becoming a gentleman to win her affection. His interactions with her spark a deep sense of shame about his humble upbringing and his life as a blacksmith's apprentice. As he grows increasingly dissatisfied, he begins to distance himself from Joe, who represents the life Pip is now desperate to escape. A surprising turn arrives when a lawyer named Mr. Jaggers tells Pip that he has come into a large fortune from an anonymous benefactor and will be trained as a gentleman in London. Pip immediately assumes Miss Havisham is his benefactor, believing she intends to groom him for Estella. Excited by this chance to climb the social ladder, he moves to London, where he is tutored by the kind Herbert Pocket and forms friendships with various colorful characters, including Wemmick, Jaggers's clerk, who leads a curious double life. As Pip immerses himself in his new life, he becomes increasingly ashamed of his past and distances himself from Joe and his childhood friends. Despite his rise in status, he finds himself disappointed that Estella remains indifferent to him. Pip clings to his hope of one day being with her, even as he realizes she is emotionally detached. Pip's world is turned upside down when his true benefactor is revealed. It is not Miss Havisham, but Magwitch, the convict he once helped. After being transported to Australia, Magwitch made a small fortune and arranged for Pip's transformation as a gesture of gratitude. This revelation horrifies Pip, who feels disgusted and ashamed at having been supported by a criminal. Yet as he learns more about Magwitch's suffering, Pip's initial reaction softens into compassion, and he decides to help the convict escape from England, as he would be imprisoned if discovered. Around this time, Pip learns that Estella is to marry Bentley Drummle, a cruel and brutish man. Heartbroken, Pip realizes the futility of his love for her and confronts the reality of Miss Havisham's manipulation. Estella confesses she is incapable of love, molded by Miss Havisham to be cold and unfeeling. Meanwhile, Pip's attempt to help Magwitch escape goes tragically wrong. The authorities capture Magwitch, who is severely injured in the struggle. Pip stays by his side, developing a close bond with him and learning about his difficult past. In a bittersweet revelation, Pip discovers that Magwitch is Estella's father, a connection he had never anticipated. As Magwitch lies dying, Pip comforts him with news of Estella, giving the man a sense of peace in his final moments. With Magwitch's death, Pip's fortune is forfeited, leaving him financially ruined. His grand dreams of being a gentleman collapse, and he comes to appreciate Joe and Biddy, his childhood friend, who embody the true kindness and loyalty he had once taken for granted. Humbled, Pip returns to his village, seeking forgiveness from Joe and Biddy, who have since married. Though Pip is happy for them, He regrets the years he spent rejecting the people who genuinely cared for him. In the closing chapters, Pip goes back to London to work as a humble clerk, having learned the value of love, loyalty, and humility over social ambition. He realizes that human connection is more meaningful than wealth or status. In a final encounter with Estella, who has also endured suffering through her marriage to Drummle, the two share a quiet, reflective moment as they walk through the ruins of Satis House, Miss Havisham's old mansion. In Dickens's original ending, Pip and Estella part as friends, going their separate ways. However, in a revised ending, Dickens suggests a more hopeful future for them, leaving open the possibility of reconciliation.